Hey everybody, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're taking a look at a knife from Optics Planet. This is from their OPMOD line. And this OPMOD line, they're working in conjunction with some other companies, and they're also actually working with a factory or a manufacturer and producing, it looks like, some of their stuff all independently. This is the OPMOD folder, limited edition drop point blade. You're going to see that this one's in tan. You can also get it in black. Your price point is $17.99 over at Optics Planet. And I have a discount code down there in the description, so you can get a discount if you want to purchase this knife or other items over at Optics Planet. We'll talk through some of the details here. Your end-to-end length is 7 5/8 of an inch. Your handle length is 4 3/8, and your blade length is 3 1/16 of an inch. It is 5CR stainless steel. It is a drop point blade. You're going to deploy it using either one of the ambidextrous thumb studs that you have there. The color is officially tan or sand. It's not tan, it is sand is the color there. You do have a little bit of the liner basically extends out, and they cut the handle back a little bit, so you have this kind of a cool feature, a little bit of flare there, a little flare here with them putting those holes in there, milling that out. These holes are certainly way too small to run any sort of paracord through there, so you're not going to be adding a lanyard to that. I did find it comfortable just taking it out of the box and holding it for a little bit, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. Let me get this lined up here. On the other side, you can see we have a pocket clip. You got two different positions. On this side, no space to put it on the other side. And that's kind of the rundown as far as the specs on the knife. You do have a little bit of texturing up here on the handle and over here on the handle, but no jimping down the top other than right here on the spine of the blade. So when you get a hold of that knife, really where your thumb rests is going to be the only spot where you have jimping. Looking down into the knife now, you can see that it is a liner lock. As I have deployed it, it does line up pretty nicely. It's not shooting over too far or not far enough, so I've been happy with that so far. One thing I did want to mention is just the placement of the thumb stud when it comes to deployment. You can see how close it is to this little cutout, which is where your hand is going to, to rest when you're holding the knife. But as far as deployment, I think they should have put it either forward a little bit, or you can't really put it a little bit higher, but if they put it a little bit more forward, it would be a little bit easier to get to. So you can see where my thumb is. I mean, it's really basically right against this thing. Makes it a little bit tough maybe if you have larger hands. So the first couple times I had to kind of figure out the system in order to get it open. Not a huge issue, but something to just be aware of. I think if they, redid this knife in a version 2.0, I would move that thumb stud a little bit so the deployment process was a little bit easier. Again, once you learn the system, not a huge deal, but it is, I mean, basically you're getting on the top of the thumb as opposed to getting a little bit more of the thumb on the thumb stud before you deploy it. When it comes to use, this knife is probably going to be an EDC or a utility knife. It could certainly be a backup knife if you have an additional knife and you're out in the field. But because it's going to generally be an EDC or utility knife, we're going to try it on some of those type of tasks. So we'll start with cutting some cardboard here. And I'm not going all the way through just because I don't want to beat up my table too much, but it seems to do just fine with that. And then, cutting rope, cutting paracord. Got a little paracord here that we'll test out and see. No problem with that. No hang-ups. I did notice as I was looking at the knife that you can see a little bit of, let me zoom in here for you. You can see a little bit of the choil right there, and that's just having a little cutout there. You're not going to rest your finger in there, obviously, but that's going to make sharpening the knife easier than some other knives that are out there when you don't have a choil like that. It just, the edge goes pretty much straight back toward the handle. Can be kind of a hassle to sharpen, so that's going to make sharpening this blade a bit easier. Okay, so let's wrap up and let's talk about who's this knife for. This is, again, a good utility EDC knife. If you're going to go out and buy something maybe from Gerber, from Kershaw, from another one of those companies, you may want to check out this OPMOD knife. Again, the company that's manufactured this is Browning. Again, remember that for your price point, you're paying 18 bucks. You're not going to get something that's the same as a knife that's produced and going to run you 150 bucks, but that's not who this is for. Again, EDC utility, and if you're going to want to spend less than 20 bucks, this could be a good option to check out. Reminder again, this is only over at Optics Planet, so head over there if you want to get it, and you can get it in the sand color. You can also get it in the black color, and both of the sand and black only has this satin finish, no black blades or different colored blades. So yeah, it's been cool. I'm going to use it as an EDC, and we'll report back in on Facebook and Instagram and some other places, let you know about some updates as I continue to test it out longer term. Thanks as always for checking out the videos here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Please subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. Take care.